Hi folks, JP here from the podcast. Just to let you all know that the podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment, and the AB stands for Mr. Alec Beveridge. It's a DJ and entertainment business. Alex is on Facebook and Instagram, and you can hit him up through the WhatsApp for any bookings on 07845 746 092. And also folks, the podcast has taken on a new partner, and we're partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. If you want any jerseys, or if you've got any memorabilia sitting around you want framed or anything looked after that way, contact John Mullaney, and you can get him at johnmullaney0971@gmail.com, or contact him on his mobile 07835 072 582. And here at the Unrestricted View, we hope you're all enjoying the content, and if you are, please like and subscribe. It's free to do so, and also share amongst your Celtic family as well. Hail, hail from all of us. Good evening and welcome back along to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, and joining me this fine Monday evening for a Monday huddle is my good man, Mr. Ryan Clifford. How are we, Ryan? I hope you've had a nice weekend, pal. You look well.
I have a bit of a garlic steak face, mate. My face a wee bit red for the sunshine over the weekend, but I had a good weekend. Obviously, the football was good at the weekend, mate. Really good final. Enjoyed it, actually, to be fair. Normally some of the games get hyped up and they don't really get to the hype, which we've seen a lot down south, a lot of games. So, not really a good weekend, mate. Sober as well. So it was all good. Looking forward to the chat tonight, mate. Obviously, Celtic's, the season's kind of windled down now into kind of every day we're linked with somebody, mate. So it's going to be another crazy summer in terms of links and windows. Links and rumours about the transfer window, so looking forward to getting in depth for that, mate. But overall, I'm good, mate. Hope you're well as well, and good to see you've got a new T-shirt, mate, as well.
I've had this for a while, mate. I was up at Good Big Alan a visit earlier. He's like, there you go. It's a going away present, big man. Cheers. Aye, mate. The weekends they're off a fast, Ryan. As you say, the weather was tremendous on Saturday, and then yesterday we spent all day at Briarlands Farm Park. It was lovely. Kids just ran about all day, which is brilliant, and they're still sleeping now. So it's been a great weekend all in. No, as you said, football when it's dwindled away down to nothing for Celtic, right enough, but. Champions League final was good. A good final. Dortmund were really unlucky. A few really, really good chances. Am I right in saying that this is the latest Champions League finals have been?
I'm not sure. Well,
the season's well finished. And usually, going back years ago, the Champions League used to be a Wednesday night. And the Europa League in the Europa Conference, they two finals are before it now.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be that first, and then it used to be called the UEFA Cup way back in the day, but there wasn't the Europa Conference. That's only been there the last few years, but I'm sure the Champions League final's never been as late as this, because we're approaching all the international friendlies, as we saw tonight with obviously Scotland playing. Aye, it's pretty late on, but the game itself was a good game. I thought Dortmund were really unlucky. They dominated for large spells of the game, and could have nicked the lead, mate, if it was a wee bit more luck in their favour.
Aye, I thought Dortmund were actually really good, but if you're not clinical in finals, or especially in the big games, it can come back to haunt you, and it kind of did. I spoke to you today and about kind of a lot of the pundits were giving Real Madrid a lot of credit for their class and how well they always get to win these big games, and the manager's getting praised so highly, and so is the players. But the media back here in Scotland, just because the Rangers had a decent second half, and Celtic won a double, or Celtic won a Scottish Cup, it's all about how Celtic were lucky and Rangers were poor and they couldn't finish their dinner. But yet Celtic don't get lauded for it, for being a winning mentality. Celtic don't get the credit for what they should have been deservedly getting, is winning a trophy. It doesn't matter how you win it. Nobody cares about how you play. Same as Dortmund. We can all say Dortmund were amazing, but they lost the game. And so it doesn't matter how well you play. If you're not winning that league trophy or the Scottish Cup or the Champions League, what you've done during the season means nothing. You'll get plaudits and credits. Well done. He played well. You defended well. But you've walked away with a runners-up medal. There's no one. So I've always said, as much as it might be hard for us fans to watch sometimes, I could not care if we get battered in the final, JPC, as long as we walk about at the end of that game with that trophy and you get away and celebrate. Nobody cares about how bad you played. Because in the record books it says Celtic Scottish Cup winners. It doesn't say the moral victory performance trophy. So it's all about winning, mate, and that's what Real done.
Well, that's why we've got photos like this here. Double winners, you know. Because we don't get to big games and claim we've got a moral victory and do a lap of honour, like clapping our fans and fist pump in the air. And that's how we can do photos like this. And, you know, even Big Sutton's managed to join a party there, you know. He's still one of the boys. He's in there with him. So that's how. And then, obviously, you look at the other side and, you know, they've got photos like this. No. They've even got vodka named after them now. And so, as I say, and gin, obviously named after them as well. But I thought I would make the night a wee bit interesting, mate. Seems there's nothing really happening, bar rumours. I thought I would make the night a wee bit interesting. Obviously, I've named it the past, the present, and the future. So, obviously, we'll talk about previous victories for Celtic in your memory. What's been your favourite watching Celtic?
Domestically, I was a young pup when they won 6-2 at Celtic Park.
What do you mean you were?
I'm still on 1905, but I've got a bit more facial hair than I was when I was about, don't know when it must have been about 11 or something back then. I was
born with his beard, mate. You know what I mean?
So I would say probably a 6-2 game, but I wasn't at the game. But a game that I've been at, probably the 3-0 game in recent times with Ange against them across the water, the 3-0 game. I was so confident before that game, and we spoke about it on here, and I said 3-0 3-0, we're going to turn up, we're going to blitz them away. And me and you spoke about it just before we walked into the stadium. There was just an aura about the place that night. There was just, see that way you walk, either just say, like you're heading out with your pals for a night out, or you're going out with your missus, or you're doing something and you've got a feeling it's going to be a good night. I had that feeling that night, and I said to you before it, we're going to smash them tonight. I just had it in my head that it was going to be an absolute humiliation. And I'm not saying we get everything right, JP, but we get everything right about that night. Beforehand of that podcast, we says this is going to happen, we'll get an early goal and we'll just pummel them. And it worked out exactly that everything we said on this podcast. That game was, some of the football that night was just, it was relentless. It's why you love football. That could have been Aberdeen, St Mirren, whoever it was. There was nobody that night was getting a result against us. I know Typhoon says there, you could say Barcelona, but I wasn't at the game. So, but the game the one that I could say that vividly in my memory that I can remember that day is the 3-0 game, JP. That game was, it was just extraordinary. The football was frightening. Just the atmosphere beforehand, during the game.
If that's your biggest memory of our best win, mate,
just in recent terms, a big bit in recent terms.
No, we're starting with the past, so we need to...
The past, it's got to be Barcelona for me. Beating Barcelona, for me, that's got to be the pinnacle for ever. But because nobody gave you a chance. That's probably, maybe take away the Man City team now, maybe they are as well. That's probably the best Barcelona, best footballing team that's been about for how many years. That was Barcelona at their pomp, and Celtic beat them by 19% possession. Miku up front, no Gary Hooper. Some of your big bifters were missing.
Adam Matthews was at left back as well.
Aye.
Do you know also that night was 125th year anniversary of the team?
There you go. So
that was Celtic's anniversary that night as well.
Loads of big games, but for me, JP, I've got to say, just because of the team you were playing against, it's got to be Barcelona. The 2-1 victory, it's got to be for me. That game was just, it's what dreams are made of, and it's what being in Europe can do to you. You can get these freak results, and it was a freak result. As much as I know Chris Commons and Kevin Wilson we spoke to, he says he fancied these. He's laughed. No, I think it was Commons or him. One of them said, I fancy this tonight, and one of them's like, what are you talking about? How can you fancy yourself at home against the best in the world? And it was amazing, mate, and still to this day, no matter what we do in Europe, if we beat a team as good as that, then it'll take something to top that, because that was amazing, mate. So for me, it's got to be being at the game. I would say recent times, and just the full thing about the season and how, in my opinion, it made us win the league. For me, once we won the 3-0 game at Celtic Park, the league was finished. It was gone, because and still to this day, I still think it's morally and mentally shattered them. That game has totally shattered their confidence. It shattered them mentally. And ever since then, I just think they're nobody same. And I would probably say, but overall, mate, it's got to be Barcelona for me. And if I ever live to see a game that tops that team, then fair play, man, because what a result that was. And they guys will, in my opinion, will always be lauded for in that game.
Aye. The past for me, the Barcelona one was iconic. That's the thing as well. Everybody in the comments, good evening. I hope everybody's well and had a lovely weekend. Let me know what your thoughts are on the past, the present and the future. What's your favourite games? Let me know what they are, and I'll do my best to get your comments up, and we'll have a wee chat about it. For me, the past has to be when I was a young boy, Ryan. My dad wouldn't let me go near Ibrox. He wouldn't let me go near the place, and he was always dead against me going there. And the very first time I went there was the one we beat them 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the one Larson went away out wide and put the ball in. Lobo got 2.
Or the one at the angle.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
Wee Maloney made his debut that day for us as well. He was only 17. That was a great game. But the best game growing up as a young lad I've been to was the 6-2 game. You never beat that. Martin O'Neill's first. I remember getting into that summer and we went out to Germany for our pre-season run and we got lettered off a team. I can't even remember who they were. I think it might have been 1860 Munich.
I think you might be right, because I'm
Older
sure
guys now. Older gentlemen
there was
that are in the comments might be
recently,
able to correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm
but
sure O'Neill mentioned that recently. I can't
I
think
think it might have been 1860 Munich, man, and they absolutely lettered us. They lettered us. And I remember Martin O'Neill's face watching the game. And he was kind of, wow, what have I inherited here? And then he quickly started making changes and getting into that Rangers game. Now, back then Rangers were a top side, mate. There were a lot of top players, you know. Yep. I remember as a Celtic fan, we were all worried. We were worried because they totally lettered us the season before it.
Mm-hmm.
And
was it only 20 points or something? Something like that, wasn't it?
They ran a savvy the year before it, right? And as I said, it was a worrying start to the season as well. And then the start we made in that game, nobody seen it coming, Ryan. We were 3-0 up in about 12 minutes. Sutton scored, and I swear to God, man, a guy grabbed me with his two hands like that on my head and started doing that with my head. My head's gone like this. And see the noise of Celtic Park, Ryan. I felt as if the stadium moved when that goal went in. And then you're just starting to get your bearings again. And then Petrov scored. And then Lambert.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going like, what is going on here? Phenomenal, mate. And then the best goal I've ever seen at Celtic Park happens. Big Sutty, Chessie Bodden, Henrik, nutmegs, him and his mammy taught him how to play football, as he said in a press conference. Big Bert Conterman. 2 guys try to kick him, try to trip him up as well. And he just, he dinks Santa. And Big Santa Claus. And the rest is history, mate. And we just went on and totally battered them. And for me, that's the best game growing up as a boy. Because obviously I grew up in an era, Ryan, where Celtic won the great. You know, and a win against him was hardly ever heard of. My wee boy's nearly 6, mate, and I don't think he's seen Rangers beating us. And if they have, it's no meant anything to great, you know. Apart from the COVID season, we've totally dominated them, mate, for as long as I can remember. For Martin O'Neill, that was a turning point for me, Ryan. Martin O'Neill came up here and totally changed the way things were going. And he gave us belief. In November, we went to Ibrox that season, and they turned us there 5-1.
I was Fimon on goal schooled. Jonathan Golden on goals that day.
I think he might have been, mate, aye. Or it might have been Big Rab. I'm not sure if Big Rab was there at the time.
I'm sure it was Gould, and he had that blue, it was the blue goalkeeper tap.
Aye.
I'm sure it was Jonathan Gould. I'm sure it was.
And aye, as I said, look, my wee man thinks, you know, Celtic just won everything all the time. And I'm pretty sure a lot of younger kids and guys similar ages, you know, there you go, there you go, Paddy Boy's the same. So, you know, there's probably a lot of kids like that, you know, that Celtic just want to bring. You, particularly, not against you yourself, but you've been spoiled, mate, because Celtic have been dominant for you were a young boy, you know. And not even an old man now or anything like that, I'm not saying that, but all you've seen is success. I remember Celtic when you're talking about that season earlier, you were drinking bleach somewhere. Mate, you'd have been jumping off of Kingston Bridge if you grew up in the area I was growing up in. You would never been able to handle that, man. We were signing guys like DeCanio and Cadet, Van Hooijdonk, and we still couldn't win the league. We still couldn't. We beat them. We beat them in the Scottish Cup. And even then, you're like, oh, it's a success, but it wasn't really because you couldn't win the league. So the Wim Jansen season, there was massive pressure on that season, you know. But in terms of atmosphere, you're talking about that 3-0 game as well, more recently. Is that, obviously, are you putting that in your bracket for the present?
I would say so, why? Because it was only 2 and a bit years ago now, wasn't it? So, roughly, wasn't it? So, I would say the past, it's got to be either Barcelona or the 6-2 game. It's got to be the 2 games because they're the ones, like you say, is iconic and they're the ones that stand out. Like I said, I have been very lucky that I've seen Celtic basically dominate since I've really been involved in Celtic or been when I started playing football, because I started playing football maybe 7 or 8 year old, never since then. I'm 30 now, so just about Celtic I've been successful. Majority, put it this way, I've won a trophy just about every season apart from the COVID season. So I've seen Celtic win a lot of trophies. And that's why I keep saying it, every end of every season, if you win the league and you win a double or you treble, whatever it is you win, celebrate it as much as you can. I'm not saying you need to go out and benders or you need to go out and drink, but enjoy it, rub it in until the start of the first game of the season, because you're still champions. You'll be champions until somebody else wins it. So I've always, anybody who I meet, if it's on here or anybody you meet in the street, whatever, if it's on social media, rub it in, because they'll do the same if they win the league next year or year after. They'll do the same. Rub it in, enjoy it. Every season you win, every trophy you win, celebrate it, because you never listen. It might sound daft, but you might win nothing again for 10 years. Who knows? Football's a crazy world, so enjoy it. When you win trophies, celebrate it, enjoy it, load it up, get all your bookmarks up, just enjoy it, because they would do the same. Hearts fans, Aberdeen, whoever wins the league, they'll all do the same. So, but I would say, mate, the iconic one's going to be obviously the Rangers game at Celtic Park. You never ever, like Kaiser says here, you never ever get sick of beating Rangers. Never. Glasgow Derby games, but you never, doesn't matter if it's a last minute shoulder goal or last minute whatever, you never ever get sick of beating your rivals. And I still don't know how some of their fans are still actually confident against the games, because Celtic have been so dominant in these games, and ability obviously JP takes care of itself, but the mentality shift that Celtic have got to know at the club, everything's all rosy, and you win these. I do believe now that Celtic are starting to get back to this Rodgers started when he first came in, and Ange when he was here. Celtic are starting to win games, especially these derby games, in the tunnel. They're seeing these guys, like McGregor's doing well here, O'Reilly, Kyle goes flying. Right, you've got Carter Vickers there. And then you look across the road and you're like...
Even Ida.
Guys like that. But you look across the road and going, like, Tavernier can hit a good free kick, can hit a good ball in the box. Dessers will take about 10 chances to score. Right, if we win the battle today, boys, game's won. And I do believe, JP, that it's starting to get to that stage now where it's one in the tunnel, because you just look at your quality against you, and I don't think their fans across the water realise how big a gap is. I really don't. I generally know people say that you're blinded or you're tinted Celtic specs. Look at the facts.
Look at that's what I was going to
The
say. You look at
facts were,
you take
away COVID season, right? It took a COVID season and the world to shut down for Rangers to go and get one trophy. They couldn't get a treble or a double. They got a one single trophy. And then ever since then, Celtic have won 7 out of the last 3 seasons.
St Johnstone, we were that bad that season. St Johnstone won the other 2 cups.
And then before that, you've won 11 out of 12 or 10 out of 11 trophies domestically. 5 trebles.
12 out of the last 13 leagues.
5 trebles in how many? 4 trebles in how many years? 5 trebles. I've seen Celtic win 5 trebles. That's unbelievable.
Oh, they won 4, 3, 2 and a bit with Rodgers.
And one with Mark O'Neill.
Rodgers, one with Neil Lennon.
And O'Neill
and obviously one with Big Ange.
So I really, the real fans understand that there's a gap, right? The real fanatics of their support know that there's a gap and they know the rebuild is going to be a massive, but someone need to they need to wake up and smell the coffee because apparently that Celtic, one of Celtic's worst ever teams in the last decade. But yet they've just won the league by 8 points and they've won a double. They've got all this, everything's all shifting right towards Celtic. If they did, like we've said, JP, if they did this recruitment properly in the summer, it's bye-bye Scottish football for the next 5 to 6 years. It's cheerio. It's generally bye-bye because as long as Brendan Rodgers is at Celtic Football Club, just my opinion, nobody else wins that league title. If we do a recruitment properly and you back him, who else stops you? Nobody else in Scotland's got the finances. Nobody else has got the ability to go and buy the quality to go and stop Celtic. So, for me, mate, I don't know how people can question at this present time the gap. It's actually crazy how people can sit and go, it's a wee bit tight and won 4 out of 5 derbies. Mental.
Yeah, and one of them being a cup final as well. You know, you get him soon as sitting in TalkSport saying that there's no a gap, and he's trying to give reasons as to why there's no a gap. It reminded me of Kenny Miller saying that John Lundstrom wasn't a red card. And he's trying to justify it. And Big Sutton says to him, that was a red card in the 70s. You know? But my favourite game of the present has to be the one we took 3 off him at Parkhead again. It wasn't the one you're talking about, the one on the Wednesday night. The one with Jota's chip.
Yeah.
Oh, it was quality, man. Quality. And what a ball that is for Matt O'Reilly. You know. And then for Jota just to dink League One John was just something else. Absolutely something else. And Abada's, you know, bang on the money again. His movement, the way he plays. Scary, man. Absolutely scary. But this is the thing, Ryan. They kind of games, there's always been they kind of moments. There's always been something in the games that you see that quality. You talk about Larsson's goal, right? This season you had Kyogo's left foot strike. The first game at Celtic Park, the turn, bang, top corner. There's always something in the games. There's always a moment of quality. Look at the one at Ibrox in the 3-2 game.
He's volley.
Edward. Edward. You know, there's always something in the games that there's a moment of quality. And Kaiser says, I know the moment that Jota retired at Alan McGregor and McGregor runs out to get the ball and Jota just runs around him and puts it in. You look at the moment and Big Bendy Devo, as you call him, jumps out the road of Kyogo and does that. Look, wee man takes the ball off him and scores. There's always a moment of sheer quality. Look at this season. I know Riley's strike against him at Celtic Park. great ball with Callum McGregor. And that's the difference, Ryan. That's Celtic come up with the big moments. You know, look at Tom Rogic's goal to clinch the invincible treble. It was another big moment in our club's history. And aye, and a non-playing moment of recent has to be for me the Scottish Cup final at the end of the game when they're all standing in a big line.
Yeah.
And the fans are singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" to them, mate. What a scene that is, Ryan. And that's something that will be talked about now for years and years and years. I've never seen anything like that before, mate. In my entire life of following Celtic, watching Celtic, that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. And that was really, really, really special. And I said it at the time on Twitter. It was iconic, you know. And that's the thing with us, mate. You talk about delivering big moments, mentality, all that into one. That's the difference, Ryan. We've got that, and we do it time and time again. While guys are sitting eating cold beans on Clyde One, talking about seasons imploding and sitting with his Rigsby cardigan on and him and Plunger, best of mates, sitting in the house with Mark McGee when he heating on and all that, know what I mean? There you go, Kaiser. Another moment there. Santa coming back in the summer. Celtic have made history, making Santa appear in the summer. Absolutely brilliant. Because you get booed at Christmas. But he was being booed because of the situation that was happening that day, not because we all hated Santa. He was being booed because Hearts beat us 2-0 and Celtic never turned up. But just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I thought, see that and all that again is going to be played for years and people remember that. Remember Santa coming out with a trophy, and as I say, it's hard taking especially the present side, it's hard taking a narrow it down, but for me, it's got to be that game with Jota's chip. That has the edge for me, just because of that goal alone. And the way we played that day, we were absolutely frantic that day, mate. And you talk about the football, the way we manipulate the ball. And like you says, Ryan, watching us in the last few weeks of the season ending there, season was coming to an end far too quickly for some of the boys.
Yep.
Because we were just starting to get right in our flow and, you know, we won 2 derbies, mate, in the last week to 10 days of the league year. So, between the last game at Celtic Park and the game at Hampden. So, it's no, and as Palma goes up to the camera, it's no easy. It's no easy. There's a lot of hard work and a lot of determination and grit going in there, mate. This season, we've had to show a big character in ourselves as well, a different side to us. You know, sleeves up and get on with it. Because football doesn't work the way we all want it to. Carlsberg doesn't work like that, mate. You know, if it did, then we would have the best results in the world. It's sometimes you go to fight. You're not going to blitz teams all the time, and that's okay. You know, you don't need to blitz teams. At the end of the day, mate, as long as you walk away with a trophy, I'll take 1-0 all season. Aye, it might be biting your fingernails off and as you've downed a couple of bottles of bleach this season and all. And that was just watching Liam Scales get up for corners. But but that's a different thing. And I know we can sit and we can have a laugh about it now, and that's what football does to you, but Ryan, it gets you in the moments, mate. It gets you that frantically. You go, no, man, I can't believe Hearts beat us here 2-0. You're walking out the stadium, you're raging. And then you go and you start putting things into perspective and you're going, hold on a minute, is it going to stop us from winning the league? No. But it's disappointing today because I've had to get up on a Saturday to come and watch us. I get it, I understand it, but in terms of moments, mate, that's got to be one of my favourites.
I think, no, I can totally get that, mate. Especially the Jota goal. That was exquisite. That's. I'll see if that was Messi that scored that. It would be the back page. It would be the headlines of every paper in the world. You're talking about this season. I was obviously where I sit. I was right behind Kyogo's goal and frightening JP. I'll still say it's one of the best goals I've seen at Celtic Park. It was unbelievable. See to be in the stadium, one touch, and see how sharp he put it, and then it's how sharp it. Now Butland is in my opinion, Butland's a fantastic goalkeeper. And the wee man put it away, curled it so quickly that Butland had no chance. No matter how quick Butland on his feet, the wee man's, it was in the back of the net. And
so why he does goals in an Orion for me, mate.
It was exquisite, mate. And being right behind that at the game, and I was like, wow. I didn't even celebrate. I was just like, wow, what an absolute... that was unbelievable. And in these derby games, mate, it's... Your ability can help you in these games, but it's a team that wins the battle. It's a team that's got the right mentality. It's a team that doesn't lose their head. And if you lose your head in these games, you can end up losing it. You can lose the game because if you lose your nut, then you're no focus. But it seems to be Celtic at this moment. We get with guys like McGregor and Vickers and the manager and Rodgers. Calm. Even if you lose a goal, right, okay, you still got half an hour, 50 minutes to go. Just keep playing the way you're playing. There's no need to rush it. And I just think that, for me, mate, I would say the past, it's got to be either the 6-2 game or the Barcelona game, and then the present, it's got to be the 3-0 game at Celtic Park. I do believe that was a massive shift, and still what's happening at the moment, because I just believe that people talk about them needing a rebuild. I don't think it's the rebuild has to be on the park, yes, but I think it's got to be behind the scenes. The full club, the mentality and the mindset of the club has to change before anything changes, because like I says, they stopped the 10. They didn't push on. They didn't try and push. They didn't give Gerrard any money. They didn't try and push on and try and compete with Celtic. It was just right, we'll beat Celtic, but what can we do now? But as much as we lost the 10, at the time it was disaster, and see now, you've reset again. We've had enough. As much as we criticise Lawwell or we can criticise the board or whatever else, but because of how well run we are in a certain capacity, we were able to get Ange in, restock some players and go, right, we go again. And you went on a double after losing the league with, was it 18, 17 points, whatever it was, or something like that anyway. And then you've went and won the league. Eventually, with a wee bit of ease at the end of the season, and then you went and won a treble, now a double again. So, as much as we criticise signings and we criticise parts of the board, you can't criticise how well run we are, because see, if we did lose the league last season, you know for a fact that in the summer we would then go again. But they have no got that in their mentality. So the only way, in my opinion, JP, that Rangers name across the water can come in.
Thanks for that, John. That's amazing.
It's frightening.
I've won 40 of the last 72 trophies in Scottish football.
That's unbelievable, John. And that again, that just tells you how big a gap is at Celtic are, John, to the rest of Scottish football. That's an absolute unbelievable stat, John.
Well, there's a stat to even back up what you're saying there, Ryan, in terms of a gap.
Yeah. For me, it's just
wow.
Celtic's the full club is right. If we lose this week, okay, we'll bounce back. As much as it's hard for us to realise at the time, as much as we criticise
John's cheating. He's like yourself, didn't he? You took away the credit, John. I thought you were using knowledge there, mate. Come on.
As much as we can criticise Lawwell and Desmond or Ross, whoever we want to criticise, the club is well run to go again. If you do lose a title or you do lose whatever it is, them across the water, they've no got that. And before they want to challenge us, obviously there's got to be a challenge because there's two teams really fighting for the league in terms of financial power and stature. If they change a bit of their mindset and then they can get a bit of quality players in and they maybe get some, then, like I said to you today, if they start getting a wee bit closer to us in terms of results and maybe they beat us once or twice a season, then we can go, right, okay, next season we need to step up again because we know they might be a wee bit stronger next season. But until they change their mindset, JP, if we get this summer right, if Brendan gets who he wants and I'm not saying go and spend the full 16, but just spending a bit of quality, it's bye-bye, mate. It really is. And people say, nah, I'm telling you right now, and people can screenshot it, they can video it. If Celtic do their proper due diligence next season, in the summer, it's bye-bye for the next 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever years. It's bye-bye. Because as soon as Brendan Rodgers gets his handle on the players he wants, he's night and day to every manager in this league. So if we get, for me, Jake, this is the biggest recruitment process we'll go through in a long, long time, because if we get it right, it sets us up for another period of domination. And like Peter Martin says in PLL Soccer, if Celtic win the league, Celtic can go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 again. Most people think that's premature.
Celtic are on their way potentially to be doing another 9 in a row.
A lot of people say, it's only 3 to settle down. But if Celtic get this right, and they potentially maybe next year qualify for Europe again, if we sell Mattarelli, JP, just say we sell Mattarelli, right? You're going to get, just say minimum 30 million, say, right? That might be your budget, right? That might be your budget covered. So you've just made 150 million sitting there to maybe go and spend in January if need be, disaster strikes, or then you go into summer again. So then again, you're miles ahead again, no matter what happens in next season, because you've got that money sitting there. So, I don't know what you feel, mate, but if we get this summer spot on, if he gets the 4 or 5 bits of quality that we think we need, Scottish football will be. I don't think it'll be talking about how close the gap is. I think they'll be talking about when will the gap get closer again, because. If they get it spot on, mate, then it's going to be an interesting few years for Celtic fans, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think if he gets his way, mate, then the gap's probably going to be as big as the Grand Canyon, in terms of the two different sides. Tam, brilliant comment, mate. No, you can't criticise. You also can't shove a goalie in the box. What a video that is, by the way. Have you seen it? Did you see it? Has anybody else seen the video of what Tam was saying there? The workies, I don't know if it's Ralston's uncles and that, and he's maybe his dad and his uncles or whatever, but an amazing video. Has anybody seen it? Let us know in the comments if you've seen the video for what Tam was saying there. You can't shove the goalie in the box. Wee bit of tongue-in-cheek, right enough, because obviously they scored a goal in the Scottish Cup final and it was chopped off for a Raskin push. And then they're wanting the game replayed again because they think Greg Taylor assaulted Raskin.
It's all right though, because Joe Rabel still to come back for the half in combinations. He's still to come back.
Right. Still to come back. That's right. And they brought Aaron Ramsey in for the big moments.
Oh, aye, massive moments.
Aye, definitely massive moments. That big a moment, he lost Rangers a cup, but it's all right though, because he was. What was it? Chris Boyd said he was the best signing since Gaza. Must be strong stuff. That guy drinks, man. I'm telling you.
I think he's been taking some of the bleach, mate.
I think he's been in a good bar of Pedro's draw. I think he's been in that. Him and Big Fuller have been high as a kite. He done a vlog together, didn't he, on the car? I think when the camera wasn't on the two of them, they were sniffing something they shouldn't have been the two of them. Bad for your health. Aye, mate. Listen, we've spoke about it how many times now, and we've said moving forward that Celtic, all they have to do is get their recruitment spot on and back Brendan, believe in Brendan, and if they do, they ta-ta to the rest of Scottish football. And as I say, I welcome that very much, Ryan, as we probably all would. You look at their rebuild started. So obviously they've their top centre back signed with him again, Leon Balogun. So he's been given an. I know you're laughing, mate, but they lauded that signing. Michael Beale says there was no restrictions on the budget when he signed him on a freebie.
No restrictions, and they're signing free transfers or loans with obligations.
But we've now got the obligation of the guy Cortez next year. So we're not buying him this year, we're buying him next year.
Crazy.
Tell me to get one of the Littlewoods catalogues payment plans, man. We'll buy him now, but we'll give you the money when we get our memory back. Know what I mean? I think they're getting up with Kensington's coupons next year. Big Philly's been smoking, hasn't he? So he's getting them all the coupons. And they're getting up with the coupons to next year to the cash register like that, right? This is for Cortez. That's a promise that we made 2 years ago. Because we were all led to believe it was an obligation to buy him the new. And then obviously ripped his tights. And they need to wait now till he's fit. But see, to re-sign a player, you go to set a medical. But if it's the same medical that used to examine them during the COVID season, and none of them were unwell at any point in time, and they all passed fitness tests and everything else, I'd be really worried because the doctor that they've got to know, the majority of the teams on the panel.
Apparently, he was the best signing though last season. When
That's what I'm saying, they awarded him as well, didn't they?
What a signing we've got.
Aye. They were wanting a statue of him outside, next to Louis Walsh. But as I say, you know, there'll be another summer of this. Watch our space, you know. There'll be no gaps, and that'll be it. They'll sign, I don't know. They've signed the boy Jeffy. And one of their fans tried to tell me the other night that he's a Brazilian tavernier.
I hope so.
I hope he is. I really do hope he is. Because if he's a Brazilian tavernier, it'll be great comedy for us.
Block your market.
That's pretty good, by the way. That's pretty good. By the way, have you seen some of the beds in the block-air market? Jesus, Johnny. Sort of one Tam puts in the back of the van, still game. Stephen Davis pulling up to the jumbo sales. I can see he made an effort, Phil, but it's hardly pumped my team, was it?
That's hardly pumped my ride, aye.
Hardly pumped my ride. It's all right, we'll make our own arrangements. And my mate says to me, where's Celtic going? I says, we're going to America. He says, aye, he's aye. I says, you don't know nothing about that. I says, Ryanair doesn't go to America. He says, what do you mean by that? I says, well, obviously, you'll be going to Craig Tara probably. And then your muscular endurance efforts with the tandem bikes again, or our Saltcoats Beach. They don't like it, Ryan. You know, but you get back to what you're saying there about celebrating as much as you can and rubbing it in as much as you can. As soon as you rub it in, they don't seem to handle it the same way, you know. Like I says, I grew up in the 90s watching Lou McCarry, watching Liam Brady. I remember Wayne Biggins. Good evening, sir. Hope you're well, pal. Or madam, whoever you are. Exactly, Anjem. Yep. If you dish it out, you've got to be able to take it back. Because we've had a laugh on here, me and you, Ryan, even Big Alan as well. And we've spoken about things sometimes. We're going, oh man, that might get clipped. That might get. I hope it does. I really do hope it does. Because see, sometimes I really wish they would, because everything we say or everything we talk about, more or less happens. The only one time we've got it wrong and we've ended up in a St Mirren podcast. And that was a bad, but listen, that wasn't a bad thing.
I was tongue in cheek.
They don't beat us very often. I mean, they kind of teams don't beat us. And that was brilliant. You know, that was absolutely brilliant. And no, Tony, absolutely, mate. But that's the way we operate, mate. As a club, there won't be any, you know, complacency. We're not getting above our station. Everything me and Ryan are speaking about now, mate, is happening. You know, myself, Ryan, and William Glavin I don't know if you managed to see it, Tony. It's in the live episodes on the channel. We done a breakdown of Rangers during the season now, coming up to the next Glasgow derby. Was it the game at Ibrox, Ryan?
We won the game, I'm sure. Did we know?
It was either the first game at Celtic Park or it was the 3 each game at Ibrox.
I'm sure it was the one Kyogo scored and we won, was it no?
Wasn't it the first game? No, it wasn't as early as that. It was only recently because Williams not been doing the true tactic stuff for that.
I can't remember what game it was, but everything was right.
I'm sure it was a 3 each game. I'm sure it was a 3 each game. But we done a breakdown before it of Rangers and how they set up. And William gave his slides on, how they set up against teams like Ross County, Dundee. Oh, was it? There we go. Aye, I had a brain fart, didn't I, Ryan, and accidentally pushed the wrong button. We do still have a recording, so we might actually get it put back up, actually. Ryan, I'll let you work your magic, because I'm not touching any more buttons. Thanks for reminding me, Angie. It was nice of you to remind me something I done wrong. No, listen, I'm my own biggest critic anyway, so I'd have clicked onto that eventually. But yeah, we done a tactical breakdown of how Rangers would set up. And that's how they set up. We don't know everything. We don't claim to know everything, Ryan, but we can only talk what we see. And as Tony says, no complacency. We've got a manager that will just know, he'll not allow it, Ryan. He just won't allow it. We've got a captain that won't allow it. And we've got squad players in the team, like Alistair Johnston and James Forrest, guys who are used to winning, And, aye, as I say, it's one of the ones, Ryan. It just amazes me, mate, that I keep saying I think we're bugged. Because usually what we say, or if we go against a player on here, he gets a 4-year deal.
Aye, I mean, normally if I may need to give Greg Taylor a wee bit of a slagging because he might get a new deal tomorrow.
Is he still not tied that up? No?
No. Unless it has been behind closed doors, it's maybe no come out because obviously get married and stuff like that. So
yeah, massive congratulations to him as well.
Congratulations to Greg. I hope he had a nice wedding, a nice wee break as well. Before
I know he was on the bench tonight, but it's probably because he was hungover.
Aye. In terms of obviously complacency, Tony's spot on. We can't be complacent. I don't think the manager and the club will be allowed to be complacent. I don't think the manager and the captain. If anybody who's not, I don't know if you can get it and catch up, but anybody who hasn't seen the Sky Sports wee bit with Rodgers and McGregor, and you can just sense that the two of them are really looking forward to the summer and looking forward to next season. And the two of them, McGregor's buzzing to be with the manager, and the manager's buzzing to be back with McGregor, and having two guys like that in your team that are serial winners, and it's massive for the club. Hi, James. Still say that he's one of the worst.
He won a competition, didn't he?
The game at home against Leipzig, man. After that, he should have been released because he was ridiculous that game. But for me, the manager.
I can go better than that, by the way. I can get better than that. We had Mo Kamara in a Celtic jersey as well.
Aye, Mo Kamara. It tried his heart out, but just not good enough. But in terms of the manager, and I don't think we'll get complacent, Tony, whatsoever, mate. I think I keep saying that if we get our recruitment right, I think domestically it kind of take care of itself. It's a European side this season, which we'll obviously talk about later on in the summer into the once the draws made and stuff. That's where we need to try and make a wee bit of inroads. As much as it's harder to get results in Europe, we're getting I wouldn't say we're a million miles away, but we need to iron out certain things to recruitment helps with that. But I do think it's small things that we need to do better, and especially away from home, if it's tactically or whatever else. But we'll obviously chat about that longer term, more in detail. But I do believe that the European side is what Celtic fans want now. It's not really the domestic side, because I think JP, that will take care of itself, the domestic side. I think it's a European side that we're wanting us to now try and at least get to these playoff games next season with the format. I think that's a big thing for us. It's finishing as at the top 24 or so, and getting to the playoff. If we get to the playoff games and maybe get beat with an unbelievable top team, fair enough. So I just feel that it's a European side for us, mate. And I've seen people commenting. I know we were talking about players and stuff. These wee links about Edward and stuff. I've seen that today as well. We've seen it. People are saying, could it be doable? I think it could be, yes. It just depends, obviously, how much money Crystal Palace would want, and obviously wages. Would they take away Scott to come back to Celtic? The question is, does Celtic want them? That's the thing. Who knows? Celtic might be going elsewhere. Celtic might be going a different dimension. There could be other dimensions Celtic are going through. So, but I do believe, and we spoke about it last week, JP, that there's something in this. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't know any information. I know nothing. There's just my intuition's telling me that the fact that David took the player of the year it could be absolutely nothing. But if Celtic could get the deal done for Edward, it's, in my opinion, it's an absolute no-brainer. Obviously, it'd be amazing to have Adam Eder as well. If you get A2 and Kyogo, then you're kind of all set to go for European campaign. Because for me, as much as I know there'll be a debate about Kyogo, Dembele, Edward, Griffiths, Hooper, whoever you think's been the best since Larson. For me, Edward gives you a bit of class. He gives you, I know people say down tools and all that carry on. Edward scored 20 goals in a season. It's over 20 goals in a season. Celtic were hopeless. So he.
His fan says he down tools as well. You know what I mean? For somebody that was in a half, that's some return.
He didn't really down tools too much to get over to get them out of goals. And so for me, if Edward was a stink possibility that we could get him back, I feel that would show a wee bit of ambition, JP.
Did they not score? The one Kyogo got a hat-trick. Did they not actually score against Dundee that day at Celtic Park? We took 6 off him. I'm sure he did. It was the game before he left, remember?
I just feel that maybe that time he was ready to go. And he was obviously told the season before. And I just think maybe, listen, JP, see, if you're told something as a player, as much as you need to be professional, eventually you're going to go, right, when am I going then? But come on, I'm getting to my end here. For me, if Edward was to come back, I know it's maybe not a big talking point and it's maybe not going to happen at all, but I think it would show a bit of ambition. I know he's been here before and he's not done amazingly at Palace, but the level he's playing at with Crystal Palace compared to the level we're playing at Scotland, it's a no-brainer in my opinion, and it gives you a bit of class, it gives you a bit of quality in Europe, a different dimension. Probably won't happen, JP. I know a lot of fans might not want him back, but but the wee link we've seen on Twitter, if £8 million was the transfer fee, just pay the money and get him up the road, because for me it's an absolute no-brainer, and he'd add a bit of class and quality for the team.
Yeah, no, listen, 100%. I know we were I was having a laugh earlier. I don't even think Big Alan knows that I was kidding on. I think he still thinks I was being serious, but it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. If Eddie wants to take him back up the road, tell him I'll meet him at the airport and pick him up and carry his bags and everything and bring him in a training ground and drop him off and pick him up, take him to the hotel and cook his dinner for him and tell him to give Liam Scales a shout because he's due home at your house at 9:30 at night now. A curfew on him now, isn't there?
In fact, it would 9 o'clock now, because I think Liam likes Love Island. That's back on now, so you might want to watch that now.
Tom, see, the thing is about it, mate, is you never say never in football, mate. I don't think Brendan Rodgers would ever come back to Celtic. Anything's possible. See, that's the new format of the Champions League as well, mate. If he had an option to come up the road to play again under this manager and everything else, for me it's a no-brainer, mate. He's no staying with Crystal Palace to to win hee-haw. Now, by the way, Crystal Palace have came on leaps and bounds with that manager, and they've just signed Daisuke Kamada today on a free transfer, which is absolutely Looney Tunes how they've managed to get a guy that calibre on a free transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So anything's possible in football, you know. There's a couple of people mentioning it as well, Tom. I'm not saying it's definitely happening, mate, but you never ever know in football, man. Never ever know. But
I don't know if it's just me, JP, because I've got a big soft spot for him because I loved him at Celtic, mate. I really he got me off my seat every time he gets the ball. And for me, he would add a bit. I know a lot of people might not want him back, JP, because he's wages, because they might have listened to people's opinions. They might have thought he was lazy, down tools. Listen, I get it all. But Edward was quality for Celtic. Edward was sheer quality. He added a bit of class. He done it in Europe, done it in Europa League, done it in Scotland, done it in the big games, done it in every big game possible, just about we had. I know he missed a few sitters now and again, but for me, the guy just added quality, and I think you'd be getting a better player now if he came back to Celtic because of where he's played at and some of the players he's played when played against. He probably would need to take
apologies, mate. I'm just going to go and I'm getting blinded here.
Edward would probably need to take a massive wage cut, same way Tierney or Jota. If any big player was going to return, they would probably need to take a wage cut. But if you want to play football and want trophies, then sometimes that's what maybe you need to do. It's probably not going to happen. It's probably just being media links and rumours because he's played with Celtic before and played under Brendan Rodgers. But I'd love him back because he is only 25, maybe 26, I think. Edward is no old, so you'd be getting maybe at his peak, potentially at his peak. And it's maybe biasy for me, JP, that I think he would need to take a massive wage cut and you need to pay a bit of money, but he's a sort of player that I think you would need to go for if it's to maybe enhance you in Europe and that kind of profile. I know he didn't score millions of goals at Crystal Palace, but he was playing a lot on the left-hand side as well. And Crystal Palace, they have got some good forwards in that wide area and stuff. So, listen, I know it's probably a non-starter.
I think they're going to lose a couple of boys as well. They're talking that boy Police moving on and the boy Eze moving on as well.
It's probably a non-starter, JP, but obviously when you see it in social media, you have a wee chat about it. If Edward comes back to Celtic, mate, then the rest of Scottish football will start to storm up and go, oh, right, they mean business. They're really starting to, because that would put the Fighters and Rangers and everybody else, because if Edwards signs and you've still got Kyogo and they say he did sign Ida, you've got Bernardo maybe in the door as well. No matter who they sign, mate, they're never getting that quality in the door, especially a guy like Edward. But I can't see it, JP, but if he was to come, mate, I'd be loving it, and I don't think I'd be down in bleach, mate. I think I'd be down in champagne because I love the guy, mate, and I just really hope that we could get somebody that quality. And I don't know maybe him, but that sort of quality, mate, and get boost us, and it would definitely get the fans. I'm not saying the fans need back on side, but it would definitely get the fans back on side with the recruitment and the quality side if you get a sort of player like that in the door. Yeah,
it's refreshing to be getting linked to guys of this calibre, because usually it's young guys you've never heard of, and boys that our fans would be calling projects. So it's good to be getting linked to guys that know the club. I seen earlier on tonight, Daily Record have put out an article about Jota, and apparently on his social media, he has taken all of his Al-Ittihad stuff off, and it's a photo of him in a Celtic jersey again. And they're reading into that there might be something in that, and that's what the Daily Record was reporting on. I seen Jerry's comment there about, obviously, the Celtic won't break their wage structure. The thing is, Jerry, Celtic have already risen their wage structure to give our major assets all their new contracts. So they've already taken the wage structure up. As Ryan says, this Champions League in the new format, and you're straight in again. That's a massive carrot to dangle. Especially look at Jota, right? His situation of he's not really playing. Celtic was a match made in heaven for him. He's still a young lad. You talk about Edward. He's been down, he's experienced the Premier League. Crystal Palace are very unlikely going to win any trophies. I don't want to write any teams off, Ryan, but again, they're in a league, mate, that's dominated. We get the teams like Manchester City and, you know, Arsenal, Tottenham, Newcastle. They're all aspiring to be up that league. Aston Villa are now in the Champions League, so they're going to get a huge chunk of revenue coming in. So you look at these guys, and this, the Crystal Palace manager, there's chat of him moving Edward on due to not being able to be in his plans or not being in his plans. Yeah, I mean, for me, Strange, it's a no-brainer. Now, I understand, seen Jem and Francis Leicester comment and saying it's, you know, it's all hearsay and everything else. It is just now, yeah, definitely. But I'll tell you what, it's so refreshing to be linked with these guys and the calibre of these guys. You know, last summer we had it with Eric Dyer, Daniel Podence, Fabian Rieder. It was guys of that kind of ilk. Now, we know that those guys didn't come in. But I don't know if it's just me, Ryan, but watching that, like he says, with McGregor and Brendan on Friday, tuning into that on Friday night myself, my perception is that he's, you know, Rodgers is fairly comfortable and he knows that it's that kind of familiarity that he probably knows what's going on in the background. Mm-hmm. So he knows what calibre of player's coming. You know, you look at Adam Ida, they're trying to get him in. Anthony Joseph's reported on it. There's rumours tonight, again, saying that Bernardo's going to be close. You know, he's desperate to come back. If it's guys of that ilk that Celtic are signing for next season, then we're going to be set up to be flying next season, Ryan. And you are right, mate. We are going to be too strong for Scottish football. We're already too strong for Scottish football. We won the league with 8 points. The next team, Tays, that's not even a, do you know what, we nearly won the league. It's miles away. You talk about him, it's couldn't win a derby. So, and then they lost a cup final. Tays as well. This is a team that they were shouting all that season there, mate, even at the beginning. They beat Real Betis, mate. Their fans were singing a song about them winning the quadruple. They were out with the walkie-talkies and everything.
David Tanner. David, I'll call him out. Big David Tanner. The only team that will stop Rangers win the league is Rangers. David, what happened, mate?
Davey, I call him Davey Tannoy.
Spoke the gun too quickly again, like they always do. Crazy. Listen, I'm all for people believing in their team. The only team in Scotland.
Kenny Miller's standing outside Ibrox. I can still see him now saying, Rangers are in a great position. I'd rather be in Rangers' position than Celtic's position. How is he feeling now?
Even an open goal. If you do Derek Ferguson, who I think is brilliant, I love his football. I know he was a Rangers player and he's a Rangers fan, but I like his opinions. I think he's spot on in a lot of his things he says on that. But he's saying that Rangers controlled the final, and I'm like, what? Why he's lying? Just tell the truth. Just Craig, delude them all. Don't delude them all tablets. Stop taking them. Go and take magnesium to help you sleep at night. Because it's nuts. But you're bang on, mate, about the quality of signings, because I think this is.
I know what Francis he's saying there. Obviously, it's hearsay and everything. You know.
100%. 100%. No,
100%.
You're bang on, Francis.
My point there, Francis, is to be linked with these guys of that ilk, rather than Kundai Benyu. You know, there's a massive difference. Now, I understand that, I call it silly season, right, where we're going to be linked to everybody and their granda. Maybe even their granny, depending on if she's any good or not. But to be linked with guys like Hodgson Edward, Jota, guys of that quality. I've even seen his link to Kieran Tierney recently. So, getting linked to these guys, because they've also got massive connections with the club. So, it's really refreshing. It really, really is.
It's
Obviously,
good.
before
It's
we
good.
finish, trying to obviously the bit that says the future.
Yes.
What are you most looking forward to moving forward?
Just progressing with this manager if they back him. We need to back him. The board need to back him. Obviously, when I was on the radio 2 weeks ago, sorry, Tom English said that he reckons Celtic have about £40 million to spend.
Well, there you go. These guys are in that circle.
If Tom is correct and the information somebody's gave Tom is correct, then you've got a wee bit of wiggle room now to go and potentially buy one or two real quality players like an Edward or a Jota Tierney type player. I feel this is the first time in a while that we've got some wiggle room to potentially go and sign somebody.
Yeah.
10 and 9 million, give them maybe 50 grand a week in wages to potentially take you forward.
So Francis, Ryan. Francis, it's guys like Stephen McGowan, David Austin. It's guys that have got real credible knowledge and real, they don't put their name to a lot of things unless there's something maybe in it. So,
it was that,
as I say,
the one
with
with Edward Francis, it's a guy doing for Crystal Palace. I don't know his name. There's no name on the guy, but he just said he's heard from sources that there is interest about Edward. But who knows? We don't deal with. We're just going to talk about it on here because it's in the media. But it's not anything that we've says. But I would say,
John, we've heard it's £45 a ticket.
Obviously, there'll be 4 games, so you maybe be talking
£45 a ticket.
There'll be 4 home games, so maybe £200 or something, maybe a package, possibly. I'll say
possibly.
Which
that or thereabouts.
And that all depends. If you get 4 belters, then that's actually no bad. So it all depends who we get. But
we're going to get 4. Well, 2 for pot 1, 2 for pot 2. Just say we run pot 3, 2 for pot 3, and 2 for pot 4.
I'll say the present, mate, it's just back the manager. It's a European side I want us to try and progress in. As much as it will be hard, I want us to at least try and get to the playoff, JP, and try and get into the playoff, the 2-leg playoff game. That would be a wee bit of success for us to kind of go through the league table, get into the playoffs. If we get beat with the playoffs by an unbelievable team, right, okay, you've still had a wee bit of success because you've won in the 8 games, so you've kind of been out the group stage, if that makes sense. So that's kind of success, and hopefully it'd be nice to get into the playoff and go through to whatever stage it's going to be after that, because it's a crazy format. But it's a European side, JP. I want us to progress because I do feel that the fans deserve a wee bit of something to look forward to in Europe, because as much as we've competed the last 2 years under Ange and Brendan, we've still failed in terms of the points total, in terms of the way it looks. We've still finished bottom. Yeah. So as much as we've competed, we've had good performances on the record books that tell you we've had 2 bottom finishes and we've been embarrassed in 1 or 2 of the games. So we don't want that to happen. I do believe under this manager, you back on with a bit of quality, JP, and I think you'll see a bit more progression. Whatever progression that is, who knows? But I do feel that that's the bit I'm looking forward to, mate. It's the European side, and hopefully adding a bit of quality. No 5 or 6 project players that are going to be sitting on the bench for a year to develop and then make an impact. We need guys to come in August, the first game in August, to come in and hopefully take us forward in the league. But it's a European side, mate. I
hope that's no when they just come in, because we've got a tour in America we're going to soon. So I hope they do come in before that. And we're going to need a couple of signings to beat the mighty Ayr United as well, because Brunny's got him playing well, and I think they've worked for it. The
goalkeeper's got to be the priority for me. That's the thing I'm looking forward to.
100%.
Who we're going to get in goals, mate, I think that will be really interesting. I'm kind of hoping, again, that people maybe think, Ryan, you're just plotting out ages here, but maybe somebody at 26, 27, or somebody at 31, 32.
Mm-hmm.
Round about that bracket, somebody who's a bit older and experienced, or somebody who's already getting to their peak. I don't want somebody at 21 or 36, or maybe even somebody at 28. You're like, right, are they going to sell on? Are they going to stay? But in my opinion, somebody at either 31, 32 with that experience, still got a lot of years left in them, or somebody at maybe 26 with a world at their feet. So that's roughly the two parts I would say I would want. But the goalkeeper, mate, I don't know what you feel, but the goalkeeping situation, I think that'll be interesting who we get, because I think we'll be linked to a few people. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, mate.
That's what I'm looking forward to seeing who our new number one's going to be, because that's the biggest signing of the summer, in my opinion. Adam Ida, Bernardo, all the other one, they're all just, we'll take that when we come. But the biggest signing for us this summer is the goalkeeping situation. We have lost a mountain in Joe Hart. Now, he's a mountain because of several different reasons. One, he's a very good goalkeeper. Two, he's a massive character. And three, it's the way he handles himself, the way he was for the club. Brendan says in his post-match at the cup final that he's irreplaceable, and I believe that. But we need to move on, which means we need to get a goalkeeper who comes in and he's competent enough to come in and be Celtic's number one and carry the badge, because it's,
Brilliant, Tom. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much, Tom. Listen, if we can help one person, it makes us want to do this even more. And that's not to blow smoke up our backsides, Ryan. It's, if we can help one person, then it's that we've set out to do what we want to do as well.
Aye, definitely, mate, definitely.
But that's what I'm mainly looking forward to. Who's going to be the next number one to carry the mantle moving forward, because, like I say, we've lost somebody. You're not going to realise how good he was, Ryan, till he's not there anymore. That's when folk will start to realise how good Joe Hart really is. And the experience and the drive and the will to win and, everything that he gave Celtic, along with 3 very successful seasons. For a guy we got for next to nothing. Frightening. So we need to get it right. No, Francis, I don't think it's something that we should rush with, mate. I really, really don't. I don't think it's something that we can really jump in and rush with, because it needs to be, due diligence is needed here, mate. It needs to be right. We can't have the Barkas coming in, or another Johnny Gould, or Tony Warner, or it needs to be right. So it's got to be the right person, mate. And I'm willing to wait. I don't think we'll have to wait much longer. And by the way, before anybody says anything, no, I don't know anything. But it's the most important signing of the summer. And for me, that needs to be the first one in the door before anybody else. No doubt Brendan's away on holiday. He'll be away chilling out because he deserved it, first and foremost. Some of our other players, Cal McGregor played the night for Scotland. Greg Taylor was with Scotland. Anthony Ralston was with Scotland. James Forrest played the night for Scotland. So some of the other boys aren't getting a proper rest until later.
Yep.
Then you've got the Euros. So I'm fine. I'm comfortable now, because I don't want that to be rushed. And then it blows up in my face. But But yeah, as I said, it's one of the ones. Good to hear it, Plunge. Hope you had a lovely weekend, pal. Hope Blackpool was nice. We had some good weather up here on Saturday as well, and yesterday. But no, that brings us to the end of our wee chat tonight, right?
It's also, I think it was Tony. Obviously, Baz got his new deal as well, so he's at Sheffield Wednesday as well. So big. I know he's been chilling
Yeah,
out.
sorry, definitely. It was great news.
I know he's been away. I know people have been asking when's he come back on. Where is he? He's been on holiday with his family, and he's been obviously
He's
chilling
got the
out
same
after
passport as Jota.
Aye. Obviously, a few people have been saying how he is and stuff. Oh, Baz is fine. Obviously, he's been chilling out. Obviously, after a hard season, he's been away. Obviously, in his holiday. So, obviously, got a new deal at the weekend there. Obviously, during last week. So, big congrats to Baz and fantastic. He's going to be there with the manager. Obviously, Danny Rose, IP's staying as well. So, we've heard a lot of good things about him. So, brilliant for Sheffield Wednesday fans to have Baz for another year. I don't think it's a 10-year contract that they were wanting, but it's brilliant to have obviously for them. He's a massive player, mate, and he's talking about mentality. He's massive for their club, mate, and their mindset. So big congrats to Baz and his family for another deal at Sheffield Wednesday.
100%, mate. I'm just really glad that he's signed on for another year, because I'm dying to get down and see the wee French woman again and sit with the ordinary people. I'm just glad that we're going to get that opportunity to do that again. But no, as I say, Baz he's like Henrik Larsson down there. He's Tony is. He's a top professional, but do you know? And again, just through getting to know him on here and been in his company now several times after us as well, he's just a top person. He's not just a top professional, he's a top guy, you know, and it's the way he treats people as well. So I've always said, if you're good to people in a way that you're just civil and you don't wish harm on people, or you don't treat people disrespectfully, and a lot of nice things will happen for you in your life, you know. If you aren't the best of people and you're not a people person, should I say, and you're quite moody, and I've always said they kind of people will always have a moment in their life where something blows up in their face. So your day, or one day for you, will come to an abrupt end there and then, and something will happen that, you know, you treat people the way you would like to be treated, in my opinion. And that's why I've always said, Ryan, and why we're quite big on mental health on here as well, because you might say to anybody that watches us, anybody can say anything they like to me. I'll just laugh at you, because that's what I've got. I'm too strong a character.
Face like a gammon steak.
No, I know. And by the way, he's not been back on to say to me, Danny. He's not been back on.
I've not seen
I think
Danny
he's bought one of the ninjas. He's out the back barbecue and everything, isn't he? He's either that, he's became a ninja and he's disappeared.
He's like, how did I get a gammon steak face like JP? Did I just go at
that? You ought to see, by the way, I've got a neat trick when I flip it to the other side, but that's a belter. And the inside and outside as well for you. And toasty your bun as well. But no, listen, the way we are on here, I keep saying it, isn't it an act? It's the way we are in day-to-day life. We're only two guys that support Celtic. And you know, we dare us to give us the opportunity to talk about what we love, which is Celtic. DFS.
Not the campaign.
Come on now. You're a creepy bastard. Standing there. Oh, look at me mourning. Look at me mourning. What I say is, anybody at all.
You call me a spooky bitch.
That's it. Call me an arsehole, Betty. It's anybody can say what they like to me. You know, I've got that kind of character. I can just brush it off. It doesn't bother me.
Pineapple does not go in any steak, any pizza.
It really doesn't bother me at all.
Pineapple's for a 10:30 show. That gets me going at a 10:30 show.
Aye.
A bit of pineapple and you're ready to go.
Like I says, Ryan, if we could help one person, if somebody's maybe not feeling it, feeling it themselves or feeling down that day, all I've got to do, we've said it before, all we've got to do is reach out to us.
Yep.
And send us a message. If you want to talk to us about Celtic, talk to us about Celtic. I guarantee we'll message you back straight away. And if I don't, Ryan will. If Ryan doesn't, I will. And vice versa. So
Alan won't. He's too busy picking his next football.
Alan's too busy hanging up his Celtic tops.
Aye.
So I said before, when Alan does a washing, all his neighbours think the husband lions are playing out his back. he's got that many Celtic tops. I guess
the Stephen Henshaw guest appearance.
Oh, Stephen Henshaw's guest appearance. Depending on what way Alan gets out his bed, sometimes he looks like David Fernandez.
David Fernandez.
Hair everywhere. Dragged through our heads backwards. Or sometimes when he sticks a pair of shorts on, he looks like Paddy McCourt.
Brilliant.
And no, listen, we pretty much love everybody's support on the channel and everything else, and we appreciate everybody tuning into us when we're on. The one thing we're going to try and do for you is we're going to try and keep going as long as we can through the summer. I know there's no much to kind of give away just now and whatnot, but we'll do our utmost best to keep it going. We are going to take a bit of a break towards the end of the month. We'll be on holiday, and but that's about it. Other than that, we'll be all the new types of content and stuff will be continuing, and we're going to try and get that up weekly for you as well. I don't know about you, Ryan, but if we started doing a wee bits of the new type of content that we're doing, I've absolutely loved it, mate.
Aye, obviously the new content obviously will be outside Celtic Park and stuff, and hopefully that's something that the viewers will be interested in, and it'll be good to obviously chat Celtic as well continually through the summer, so that's stuff that we will be putting in. But yeah, we will be continuing to talk through the summer. If there's anything that we need to do, if there's any links or rumours or transfers, then we'll pop on like we done last summer. Luis Palma and other guys. If there's anything we can do that side, then we'll come on and we'll try and chat as long as we can about Celtic. But again, please like, subscribe to the channel. Please, it's free. Don't charge a penny. You can get us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Please give us a wee like on the channel and keep supporting us. It's all for you guys. We do this for the fans to get your opinions across, and we'll continue to do it during the summer. And thanks for tuning on this cloudy Monday night. Now it's not sunny anymore. It's a bit overcast, but thanks guys for tuning in, and stay safe as well.
JJ, you've probably just tuned in, pal. We've been doing that for the last 24 minutes. It's only been the last 5 minutes. We've been talking about something else. It wasn't Celtic. If you have tuned in late, mate, you can always go back and have a wee switch. But guys, we'll keep you updated when we're going to be back on. We don't know that as yet, but check out the community of the YouTube channel and obviously the social media. But for myself, JP, I will see you all later. Hail. Take care. And we'll see you again, folks. Bye-bye.
The real Rangers were coming once again, they said. 3 in a row, 3 in a row. Sorry.
Oh, you can't shove the goalie in the box. Oh, you can't shove the goalie in the box. Oh, you can't shove the goalie, 'cause he's a holy goalie. Can't shove the goalie